Hey guys, now we're going to learn how to install Debian Linux 13. This can be downloaded from, just search Google for Debian Linux 13. Debian.org is where you're going to find it, just here. Big download button. You know what, I'm not going to, yeah. This will give you the net install folder, but I'm using the DVD installer because you get way more stuff and it's not that much bigger. Other downloads, and for this demo, I use this one, 64-bit PC DVD one. So it's the size of a DVD, about 4 gig, not the end of the world. Okay, let's get started. So I've got my virtual machine. Start. All right. We'll go graphical install. It's not that graphical. It's really just a prettier version of the text mode install. But it might be a little less scary, so we'll do it. Okay, so English. Uh, choose your region. American English. Continue. Doing networky stuff. Trying to talk to the network. Haven't actually tested this, so I hope it works. Test box deb. Nice. Continue. No need for a domain. Root password. Uh, so far, this is very easy, just setting up a username and password. Same as Windows, really. Except it doesn't make you connect to a freaking cloud account. It's completely offline. Continue. Region again, just for clock stuff. Continue. We're not going to do anything that's very hard, by the way. This is all totally within your reach. All right, now let's just clean this up just to make it a bit simpler. Oh crap. Oh no, we're good. We're good. All right, so we're going to go guided, use entire disk. I only gave it a small hard drive, but it doesn't need that much space. That's fine. I like the top one. It's easier. You can, give different disks different partitions, or you could just say, I want to put all my stuff in the one disk. Which disk do you want to do? Well, there's only one of them. It'll give you a bit of swap space and a root partition. Select the bottom one, continue. Yes, I do want to write these changes. That's okay. Continue. Now, this is exactly what it says, the base system. We haven't selected what kind of a desktop environment we want yet. Well, just to give you an idea of what kind of environments are out there, let's have a look. We've got KDE screenshots. So this is what KDE can look like, K desktop environment. Then my favorite is XFace4. This is typical of XFace4. Then GNOME. Well, GNOME used to look like that before all the silly icons happened. I used to use GNOME 2, but ever since GNOME 3, I've gone to XFace4 just for simplicity and speed. I've heard Wayland's pretty cool, but I guess I know Xorg better. So for now, to follow me, we're going to use XFace and Xorg. So we can expect something like this. Okay. Now, anyways, pay attention to this. It's saying if you have more DVDs, you can put them in now, but we've only got the one DVD. So I don't want to scan extra installation media. That's all right. Doesn't really matter because we have the net. It's important to say yes, use a network mirror. This is very important. And select your region, Australia, and just the top one's fine. If you're with ARNet or Amaze, or you happen to go to a certain university that has a mirror, or you're with Over the Wire, you can choose something closer, but this one's fine. If you have a proxy, put it in there, leave it blank. It's just building like a collection of all the packages. Why the hell is swap there? I don't care about swap. Just give me processor and memory, that's all I need. Again, it's really just building up the package cache at this stage. Okay, I always say no to popularity contest. That's not important. Continue. Now, critical step. You can definitely leave it with GNOME if you want the GNOME 3 interface. I'm going to untick it and I'm going to choose XFace. I prefer that the most. I prefer XFace because it's lightweight, does everything I want, nothing I don't want. It's great. You can do this if you want a web server or an SSH server, but let's keep it simple. So Debian desktop, XFace, standard system. Continue. Now, it's not really going to thrash the internet, it's more going to thrash the ISO, which should be pretty close to it, so it shouldn't take too long to install. Okay, it's retrieved all the files. Has it actually... Yeah, it's installing pretty quick. Using a fair few cores here, that's good. This is real CPU usage for recording this video on OBS. Um, yeah, so I've got OBS going here for my little video recording. As real CPU usage and real memory usage. So I gotta say, Linux is very efficient. If you've got old hardware like me and you want to squeeze every last drop out of your hardware and you don't want shit on more shit on more shit that moves very slowly, you just want a lean, mean operating system, this is for you. Now, I have to stress, Linux is very specialized. It won't run anywhere near everything Windows will do, but or Mac will do. But if you know how to configure it, it can be really quick. So it's definitely not a video for everyone. It's really the intended audience for this video is, I guess, the people who, like my computer was getting slow with Win11 and is getting slow with Win11, and it came time where my computer doesn't support TPM and it's not that quick either. It's really quite an old computer, um, but that's okay. And I just wanted to keep my existing hardware and keep on running it until I couldn't run it anymore. And I'm actually really happy with it. So I'm just hoping I can pass on that advice to anyone who's ready to take that leap. It's not definitely not better for everything. It doesn't run everything, but there are definitely some perks. Definitely some perks. And it's really customizable. By the way, after you install this on your computer, you're not going to see this crazy old Mac interface. What I've got here, you're not going to see all this. It won't even be configured, and it definitely won't be customized to be like my OS 9 Mac. I just did this for fun, and I just want to kind of bring back that memory for myself and run some really nice modern programs on it, like Blender 5.1, and it runs just fine. Back to my virtual machine. I've always wanted a, not necessarily Mac or Windows or Linux, but I've just wanted a really fast, mean graphics machine, and I guess that's what I'm trying to build for myself here in this here environment. Come on. Oh, by the way, I've hit a lot of hurdles. I haven't worked out everything myself. I've relied on knowledge that other people have told me, and I've definitely used, gonna say it, I'm almost ashamed to say I used AI, but shit, I did. I used Google Gemini. And, if you get stuck in the command line, it is a great little tool. Doesn't mean you have to subscribe to anything or even have an account. You can use it as a user, you can use it securely. When you're done with it, you can close it and it won't be in your computer anymore. That's okay. And it won't take screenshots of your computer like some Windows 11 features do, like Microsoft Recall. I just want to help you guys, I guess, get off the grid, so to speak. Now, this is an important step. Grub is a funny little name. It means Grand Unified Bootloader. It's very important. Without that, your system won't boot. So if you don't know what you're doing, just agree to it. Just say yes, install grub, and that will let Linux boot. You probably want to choose the hard drive you chose when you installed it, and there's only one of them, so I'm going to choose that. Nearly done. So we're at 15 minutes into this video. This installation hasn't taken that long. I think where Linux really shines is the updates, I would say. Now, don't get me wrong, some Linux updates will break things, especially if well, you know, up updates always break things, but they're a needed evil. So, um, yeah, just do it because you have to. Okay, we're done. We're done. So, if you install this, rip your USB out. I obviously used a virtual machine, so I'm just going to hit continue. Oh, good, it put it up. And that's off the virtual hard drive, so I'm going to choose it. Hey, here we go. Hope it boots. Come on. Looks positive. And I love that font. I really do. It's called the Terminus font. Okay. Great. So that's it. It's done. So that was pretty quick. We're going to put in the username and password that we entered earlier in this video. And if everything goes right, it'll just dump you into a desktop. Now, as you all know, when you install an operating system, you have to run Windows updates. So we're going to do something similar. We're going to load up the command. This is like the Linux equivalent of running Windows updates. Sudo. Linux is pretty secure by design, so we have to do this as a super user. So we're going to go su root password. That's the first password we entered, by the way, in the setup. And now, anytime we do something with packages, we start it with apt-get or sudo apt-get. And now we're just going to run updates. Update, sorry, singular. Okay, so I had a bit of a whinge. What's it saying? So the repository CD-ROM does not have a release file. We can fix that actually. We're going to fix it now with mousepad. Mousepad is like notepad, but for Xface. Mousepad, etc apt. Mousepad, etc apt sources.list. So just enter this command here. This is a configuration file for your package manager. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little hash and a space before this deb cd-rom because we want it to use these, but we don't want it to use that. So if you put a hash here, it'll tell the operating system to ignore this line. So that's good. So now save it, quit, and now run the command. You can just press the up arrow and then press enter. Oh, silly me. Up arrow twice, 3 times, and then By the way, pressing up can go back to your previous command. That can be really handy if you just want to change it a little bit. So now we're going to go apt-get update again. And you'll see here that we've defeated the error. Another really good thing to do after a fresh install is an upgrade. We're not too worried we're going to break our system. We just want to make sure we're on the newest possible base. And lo and behold, we're good. So what do you want to do? What do you want to set? You might want to change your desktop resolution. I want to change this a bit. I don't really like the dock that much. So if I right click on the dock and go Panel, Preferences, and then I hit this minus arrow, remove, it gets rid of the bottom. And I like the old school Mac feel. So I've got, my little menu there. Put my file system here, put my rubbish there, home. Now the mouse is cool, but I want to change the wallpaper. So I'm going to go right click, desktop settings. And I want to change my wallpaper. Now there's a few in here. And it doesn't come with a whole lot. Let's see if we've got a web browser. Have we got a web browser? We do. We've got Firefox. That's really cool. I want to get a wallpaper. I want to download a wallpaper. So let's do that. Images.google.com. Cat wallpaper, because cats are the best. What have we got? Oh, these are pretty good pusses. That's not bad, but it's so AI. Okay, that's pretty good. Yep, I like that. So open image, a new tab. Yeah, that's not bad. Save image as. We're just getting familiar with the OS. I just want to show you how to use it, right? Put it in pictures. Oh, by the way, Alt left click to drag a window around. So I'll do it in this. So Alt click and drag, and now maximize. Doesn't really do it in the virtual machine, so just take my word for it. All right, so we've got a cat here. Save it, close it, right click, desktop settings. Change where it looks for wallpaper. Other, pictures, there's our cat. Open, choose cat. Now we have cat wallpaper. Excellent. Now we really like it, but we want to change it a bit, right? So settings, appearance, and you can actually make it dark, or you can make it high contrast if you've got even dodgier eyes than me. I like light, so I'm going to do that. And I want the old-fashioned icon, so you click there. To change your networking options, that's a valid thing. You can click here. Sorry, you can right-click here and go Edit Connections. Select the one you want to chop up, and then press the yeah, and you've got all these wonderful options. Just like in Windows, you've got IPv4, IPv6, proxy, don't know what that is. Data center bridging, that's pretty hardcore. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, so you've got stuff you can change here. Play around, have fun. And I'll just show you in my host OS. We've also got Wi-Fi. To add a shortcut to the desktop, you can go right-click, Create Launcher, and if you know what it's called, you can just type in terminal, create Xface terminal, create. And now I've got a shortcut to a terminal, so I can get all that good command line goodness. There's a system monitor and stuff, but hang on, back to packaging. Yeah, back to packaging. If you want to get something for, you know what, I won't turn this into a deep dive for Xface 4. We're already at 20 minutes, but this is a great little environment, Xface. I love it. I hold it dear to my heart. You customize the hell out of it. Just play around. It's very different, so please get into it, and it will run on a toaster. It uses absolutely no RAM. Dark mode was on, but it wasn't working. Fascinating. You can put a background image there. So now the cat's the background for that, but you could make something different. And what else? Oh, yeah, there is something I want to tell you. You're not going to be able to sudo in Debian out of the box, so I want to show you how to do that. Maybe remove the cat image. Alright, cool. Looking a bit more normal now with our little cat. Now, if I go sudo apt get gimp, for instance, and I put my password in, I think, sick, I can do sudo. My user is not on the sudo file, so I've got to add my user to the list of people who can install packages. So I'm an UmpTY user, I'm not a power user, and I can elevate that user if I want to. Whilst you can just go su, it might be better having a different root password, but I just find when I'm getting commands off the internet, they tend to use sudo. And some things you need sudo to do things within context. So I think it's pretty important. So let's figure out how to sudo on Debian. That's a fun little thing to do. So I'm going to shamelessly go crying to AI, just like I always do. I'm going to ask it how to add my user in Debian Linux to sudo. You need to use usermod. All right. So first you have to do su. Let's do that. We'll put our instructions here. Put our virtual machine here. Okay. So we'll go su. And then usermod. I'm so lazy. I can just type it in. User dash little a big G caps matter in Linux. Get it right. Sudo. Now, don't type in your username. This is your username, the one you set when you installed the OS. So mine's fabzor3. Yours will be different because you have a different username. Okay. Usermod ag sudo fabzor. Usermod ag. Yep. All right. So enter. Oh, that's fun. Command not found. That's hilarious. Apt get install usermod. Will that do it? No. How about this? Sudo. Did that work? Log back out and log in. That's crucial. All right. So let's just see if that worked. Close window. This is how you log out. Log out. Log in again. And we can test it real easy. Apt-get install gimp. It works, look at that. So that was successful. So now we'll download GIMP. GIMP is kind of like Photoshop, but free. It's very different, by the way. Don't be like, I know Photoshop, therefore I know GIMP. It's similar, but it's very different. There are pros and cons to each. But honestly, if you learn the free stuff, you'll be laughing. Graphics, GIMP, boom. No accounts, no bullshit, just performance. Of course, this doesn't open quite as fast as natively, but and I like to use, because I'm a bit old-fashioned, so I'm going to use a different theme. So you go theme, light colors, icon theme, legacy. Looks a bit happier and older. I love it. And now you've got a full-blown Photoshop type thing with brushes and stuff. And it's very sophisticated software. So you should only use this if you're a pro like me. There's my cat. There's its tail. Beady little eyes. Alright, cool. Oh, and fangs. It needs fangs. Nightmarish cat. Cool. Now, when you go save, it's going to want to save it as really bzip, gzip, an XCF, which is like a GIMP PSD. So you can also export, and it's got a huge different list of different things you can export as. So that gives you lots of options for different operating systems and systems. And that's it. I think we're at time. That's 31 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up this video. And in just 31 minutes, we've got a full Linux operating system. It's slightly configured. We've got a cat wallpaper. We've got GIMP installed. And our user can use sudo. So, look, I really hope you found this useful. Look, a word of warning. Try it out on a different system before you go using this on your primary machine, because you could do a little bit of damage to your file system. So, yeah, get familiar with it, installing, and if you are going to install this on your primary system, get yourself a second hard drive or SSD, unplug your Windows one, install Linux on the other one, maybe even label them physically to prevent confusion. Yeah, good luck. I hope this helps you. All right, thank you.